Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Nothing Zilch Nada. And because we record on Sundays, happy Father's Day to all of you fathers, dads, papas, and some of you daddies. We all know what you do for the rest of them. With me right here, and now I know I'm pointing the correct way because we're here together. Over here is my co-host, Mr. Jacob Green, and I'm Mr. Xavier Dean. Jake, you have anything you want to add before we continue?
Well, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. You do a lot of great work for supporting all your families out there. Mm-hmm. Also, I saw a joke video today of like a woman doing a confessional. So this is more of a Catholic joke, but she goes into the confessional with the priest. And usually in a confessional, there's like a screen in between. You do have the option to be in a separate room with the priest, seeing them, but the screen is just so that way, you know, the priest can see you. But, like, they're also not allowed to say anything about a confessional. If they do, then they can't be a priest no longer. Those are the rules, and it makes sense. Anyways, but the joke is that she goes in and she says, "Forgive me, Daddy, I've been a good girl." And then the priest goes, "It's supposed to be, Father, forgive me for my sins. This has been such time since my last confession." Which is what you're supposed to say. But
I was not expecting the joke to go there. So, as some of you may notice, we're actually here in person. I am physically touching him.
Yeah, we tried recording the usual way, but for some reason, the internet has just not been working in our favor, and apparently it's my fault.
It is! You're the one who's freezing up.
Yeah, but since I am home for the weekend, because I had to do a gig yesterday, we'll be recording outside, and luckily for us, it is a very beautiful day outside. Mm-hmm. So, fathers, you're lucky.
Yep. All right. So last week we ended it on Jake, so now it's me. And I did mention that this week's gonna have a little bit of a script. So Jake, you said you had a guess on what the theme for today is.
I did.
What's the theme?
Based on the subtle hints you gave me, something having to do with Star Wars.
It is something having to do with Star Wars.
Yes, I knew it.
So Jake, I'm actually calling you out in this video.
Oh no!
I don't think you're an actual Star Wars fan.
What?
Seriously, I don't think you're.
I'm not that surprised by you making that statement. I mean, I'm not the most. I mean, I like Star Wars. I like the soundtracks composed by John Williams.
Mm-hmm. John Williams is the man.
John Williams is the man. But that's only because he's one of my favorite composers, and because I've listened to a lot of his stuff from the movies that he's composed for. Now, here's the thing, is that, like, the prequel trilogy came out when we were, well, episode 1 came out before we were born, because it was, like, 1999. Mm-hmm. So, the advantage of the prequel trilogy that we have is that, like, we could say that we're older than episode 2.
Yes. I don't really want to say I'm older than episode 2, though. Mm-hmm. Episode 2 came out a long time ago.
It came out in, like, 2002, didn't it?
Yeah, that was 23 years ago. A long time ago.
Yes.
In a galaxy not so far away.
Yeah, but but I've watched the movies. I do plan on rewatching them at some point. Starting with the original trilogy, I know that's like not the chronological start to Star Wars.
No, but it's the ideal start.
Yeah, it's the ideal start because, they were the movies to start off the franchise to what it is now.
Yeah.
I will say the most I've ever been invested in Star Wars, besides the sequel trilogy coming out, which was a very interesting time to be a Star Wars fan, but it was the Clone Wars series on Cartoon Network that got me interested in the lore of Star Wars and, some of the lore that came from being a Jedi or a Sith. But besides that, I'm not that in touch with the franchise that much anymore.
Well, that's a shame because I have here 20 quotes from Star Wars and Star Wars adjacent media.
Based on what? Based on what? Like
like it's Star Wars, but they're parodied.
Okay.
So, here's what we're doing today. You're gonna guess which film the Star Wars quotes are from. So I will say the quote. If you are stumped, I am allowed to give you a hint of who said it.
Okay, and there are 20 questions.
There are 20 quotes.
Okay.
Now, I did say Star Wars adjacent. That is because there are 5 decoy Star Wars quotes. These will be quotes from like parody songs and shows, and 1 parody movie.
I think I know what that parody movie is.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get that one. But so, like I said, for the actual Star Wars quotes, you have to guess the episode it's from.
Okay.
For the ones that aren't actual quotes, you just have to say they're not a quote, and I will give you the option to guess.
Okay.
What it's from.
All right.
All right.
Lay it on me.
All right, so the first one, and I'm going to start this. The first 3 are easy.
Okay.
So, quote number 1. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Yep, that's from episode 4.
That is.
Hope. I'll just say real quick, I kind of wish it maintained the title Star Wars instead of episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah.
Just because it's the first one, it's special.
It is special.
You put a subtitle under it, it doesn't make it feel as special anymore.
All right. All right, so number 2. Again, super easy. I don't think I have to say the full quote for this. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
That is episode 2.
Yep, episode 2, Anakin Skywalker. You are on a roll.
You know what? I got something. Pocket sand!
Ah! All right, third quote.
Well, obviously that's the Chewbacca is a Wookiee. So I'm not sure if I could pinpoint it to a single episode, so I'll just say the prequel, not the prequel, the original trilogy, the sequel trilogy, and then episode 3, because that's the only prequel movie that the Wookiees are in.
All right. So that wasn't an actual quote. I just wanted an excuse to make the track a sound. The actual quote: he left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, "Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi."
Episode 1. Is it not
Close.
episode? Is it episode 2?
It's not an episode.
Oh, it's not an episode? Oh, wait.
It is not actually a Star Wars episode. He left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, "Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi." Now this one I'll let you have 2 hints. First one is who said it, and the second one is how it's actually said.
Let's see. Is it from a TV series?
Nope.
Okay, so that eliminates some possibilities.
And you're gonna hit yourself for this one.
Is it from a game?
It's not from a game. I didn't go with any game quotes.
Let's see. But it's not a movie.
Not a movie.
Is it...
It is tied to the first movie, but it's not actually a movie.
So, wait, not tied to the... Is it a wait, no, so you already said it's not a TV show.
No.
Who's it said by?
Jedi Master Al. And
Yeah.
that is specifically what I'm saying, because if I were to say the full thing, you would know. I still want you to try to guess.
Yeah, I'm trying, although the Jedi does not ring a bell for me.
It's a little weird.
Isn't it a book?
No. Like I said, I'll give you one more, and it's how it's said.
How it's said.
You want it?
Yeah.
All right. He left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi.
Man, I have not listened to that version that much. But,
No?
Okay.
Aww.
But it is based on American Pie, right?
Yep, it is the Weird Al Yankovic. Jedi Master Al. It is the Weird Al Yankovic
Jedi
song.
Master Al. Oh, man, that should have...
Yep. So it is the Weird Al Yankovic song, The Saga Begins, based off of episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, man. I said the third one was going to be easy. Good luck, Jake. All right. So, number 4. In the event I don't make it back, I want you to know you've been a real friend, R2. My best one, in fact.
Okay. Let's see. In the event I don't make it back. So, I know it's not from the sequel trilogy. And I don't think it's in the original trilogy. So I think it's in the prequels. Is it episode 3?
It is not episode 3.
Is it any of the movies?
It is a movie.
Okay.
It is a movie.
Episode 2?
No.
Episode 1?
No. You ruled out the trilogy it was in.
Wait a minute. Episode 6?
Not episode 6.
5?
No.
4?
No.
Wait. Is it 9?
It is 9.
Oh my gosh!
C-3PO said that before he was converted
Oh, you know what?
to the dark side.
You know what he did? Wait, was it converted to the dark side, or was it his memory being erased?
It wasn't necessarily his memory. Well, his memory was erased from that, but it was... In order for them to be able to translate from the Sith text, they had to do something with his memory that ended up causing it to be erased.
Yeah.
All right. Ready for quote number 5?
Mm-hmm.
A Jedi Knight? Jeez. I'm out of it for a little while. Everyone gets delusions of grandeur.
Huh.
And remember, you can always ask for a hint on who says it.
Okay, who does say it?
Han Solo.
Han Solo. Okay. So would it have to be in episodes when he was around? Is it episode 7?
Not episode 7.
Okay. Um, episode 4?
Not episode 4.
Episode 5?
Nope.
6?
It is 6.
Okay.
It is after he was taken out of the carbonite and he found out that Luke is a Jedi Knight.
Okay.
Alright. Quote number 6. I'm ending all of this. The tree, the text, the Jedi. I'm going to burn it all down.
Okay, now that one I do know. It's episode 8.
Who says it?
Luke.
Okay.
In that one scene where like Yoda appears to him and Luke is about to burn the tree with all the Jedi texts in it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's probably one of my favorite scenes from episode 8.
Really?
Yeah.
It's up there for me.
1, it's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
2, it was kind of... It is an important lesson for Luke.
Yes.
But I will say all that text being written down has just gone to waste now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just say one thing. I know a lot of people say that is the worst Star Wars film. But there's some enjoyable moments.
I think 9 is way worse, if I'm being completely honest.
9's way more scattered. 9's way more scattered.
Alrighty.
Alright. Quote 7. I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
So based on the way that line is it in any Star Wars media?
It is not. Well, it's parodied.
Yes. So I'm gonna say it's Spaceballs.
It is Spaceballs.
Yes. And
The Schwartz is strong in this one.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've seen clips of the movie. I have not actually seen Spaceballs.
You've not seen Spaceballs? Well, you gotta watch it before they release.
I know. I just sent to Xavier the other day. They just released a trailer for... By the way, that trailer is hilarious.
Oh, it is absolutely funny. You know the funny thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right before you sent that trailer to me, I had just finished watching it. I was about to send it to you.
Great minds think alike. Anyways,
yep.
But
I don't know why he was thinking it then.
Well, it just occurred on my Facebook feed, and I saw that Spaceballs 2 is going to be released, and I saw the trailer, and it's just like, oh man, this is funny.
Man. But now you and I gotta watch Spaceballs. All right, number 8. This is how democracy falls, with thunderous applause.
Okay, I know this one. It's episode 3.
It is episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Padme Amidala.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 9. And this one, I said to my father, and it stumped him.
Okay.
With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
Okay. With our combined power.
And remember, you always have a hint.
Yes, I am aware. So, is it... Say the quote one more time.
With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
I want to say... Is it episode 9?
It is not episode 9.
Okay. Let's see. So... Is it episode 8?
It's not episode 8.
Or 7?
No, not in the sequel trilogy.
Okay. Is it episode 6?
It is not episode 6.
Okay. Episode 5.
It is episode 5.
Okay. That is a very ambiguous quote right there, because I feel like that...
Well, if you had asked for the hint,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have said Darth Vader, would you have at least gotten close?
I would have gotten close. I would have narrowed it down to the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been episode 5 or 6, because that's where Luke and Darth Vader actually interact with each other.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, I mentioned this to my father, and the first movie he said was Episode 3. Because I didn't tell him who said the quote either.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that, and his immediate thought was, oh, this is something the Chancellor said to Anakin.
It sounds like something that he would say, but not in those exact words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Remember back to your early trainings. All who gain power are afraid to lose it, even the Jedi.
Oh, now that one, I think is Episode 3.
This one is Episode 3.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Quoted by Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. If I remember correctly, this is during the Mon Calamari, Swan Lake type ballet.
Yeah, I think
when he was talking about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Yeah, I find the lore of Darth Plagueis to be interesting. All I know much about him was that, besides being a powerful Sith Lord, is that he had a black lightsaber that could only be activated by cutting his hand and letting the blood seep through, and that's how he activates it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I will say, Episode 3 was the hardest one to pick quotes from, because there are so many iconic quotes.
Well,
I didn't want to give you, hello there, or it's over Anakin, I've had the high ground.
Or General Kenobi.
Or that one. Alright, 11. We're at the halfway point. Okay. Aren't you a little fat to be a stormtrooper?
Oh, is it from a parody?
It is from a parody.
Okay.
You want to take a guess on what the parody is?
Oh, wait. I think I might know what it is. I have not seen it, but I've seen clips of it. Actually, I think I just saw it the other day. Is it the Family Guy episode?
It is. It is from the episode Blue Harvest, which was Family Guy's first Star Wars parody. I think they ended up parodying the entire original trilogy. But yeah, that is from the first one. It was said by, and I put it this way, Princess Lois. Alright. Quote 12. Yippee.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Who says it?
Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, episode 1?
It is episode 1.
Okay.
It is the one quote that my father hates in all of Star Wars.
Why?
Because the Dark Lord, Darth Vader, does not say yippee.
But he's only a kid.
I tried to explain that. He's like, nope. The Dark Lord does not say yippee. Alright. Number 13. I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
That is episode 4.
That is episode 4, after the destruction of Alderaan.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I should have... There was a YouTube channel called How It Should Have Ended.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they're still making videos.
Mm-hmm.
But they made one for Phantom Menace, and it was quoting they used that quote, but instead of it being glare silence, they were like sighs of relief. It was after they ended up killing Jar Jar. Alright. Quote 14. We just picked up some power converters at Toshi Station.
Power converters at Toshi Station. Who says that?
Phineas.
Who?
Phineas.
Is it in the sequel trilogy?
It's not in the sequel trilogy.
Is it in any of the trilogies.
It's not in any of the trilogies.
Okay. Is it in a TV show?
It is in a TV show.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But so I reckon it's not from the Clone Wars
Nope.
or Rebels.
Nope.
See, this is where my knowledge falls apart because I have not seen anything from the TV shows. I mean,
Well, it's not an official Star Wars TV show.
wait a minute. Is it a parody?
Mm-hmm. It was sort of.
Oh man. I can't. Yeah, I'm stumped. I can't think of it.
Phineas and Ferb's Star Wars.
Okay, that's probably the one Star Wars parody. Well, at least one of them I know I have not seen. I know it. That should have been an obvious one right there, but it made me think it was something from the sequel trilogy.
So originally I was going to do a different quote for that one,
Mm-hmm.
where Dr. Doofenshmirtz was talking to Darth Vader and was talking about how the Death Star
Mm-hmm.
was originally just a nutcracker, and Vader stole his design.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 15. Why do I get the feeling that we've picked up another pathetic life form?
Oh. Let's see. Who says it?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, so I know for sure it wouldn't be in the original trilogy. Is it episode 1?
It is episode 1.
Okay, because I feel like that'd be something that young Obi-Wan would say.
Mm-hmm. I forgot who they picked up at that time.
Jar Jar?
Maybe it was Jar Jar? I don't know. I felt like that was after they picked up Jar Jar and they picked up someone else.
Oh.
All right. Quote 16. That's not how the Force works.
Oh, episode 7.
It is episode 7.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
You know what's funny about that? Because it's what Han says to Finn, where Finn's like, "Oh, we could just use the Force. That's how the Force works." And yet, that trilogy probably has the most mishandled use of the Force.
Yes. So I'm gonna be honest. Originally, when I watched Star Wars Episode 7, I was not a big fan of it. Just because I was one of those kids that liked the original Star Wars lore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking like it shouldn't have been Rey and Ben. It should have been Jason and I think it was Jalen.
Yeah.
After the others, I have grown to like Episode 7 just a little more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next quote, quote 17. You said you wanted to be around when I made a mistake. Well, this could be it, sweetheart.
I feel like that'd be something that would be said in one of the Solo movie, not Solo, the movie. Well, one of the standalone Star Wars movies.
It was not. I decided to stay out of Rogue One and Solo, just to try and make it a little easier.
You stayed out of those movies, which I have seen, and yeah, you chose Phineas and Ferb, the Star Wars parody.
Well, yeah, I wanted to trick you somehow.
Okay.
I did mention that with those ones, you just had to say that they're not Star Wars.
Okay, so who says the quote?
Han Solo.
Say the quote one more time.
You said you wanted to be around when I made a mistake. Well, this could be it, sweetheart.
Okay, I feel like... Is it episode 5?
It is episode 5.
Okay, I got it. I was also thinking it would have been episode 4, but...
No, it's episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but in episode 5, when Han's going out to save Luke in Hoth,
Mm-hmm.
he says that he's going to see people in hell. It implies that there's a heaven and a hell in Star Wars. And ghosts.
I wonder if the Sith have their own Force ghosts.
Nope. So that's his own thing. Force ghosts come from... I forgot what it was. It was like enlightenment? Or like a sense of... I gotta look it back up, but it was...
Mm-hmm.
They felt as if... Or the reason why Jedi get Force ghosts is because when they die, they feel content. They feel something positive thoughts, and that's why the Sith can't. But the Sith actually have their own thing where if they're angry enough, they can't actually die. Or it takes a lot to kill him.
Well, in the case of Darth Maul, you can have your limbs. You can have your limbs chopped off, and if you
can be cut in half, and if you're angry enough, you can. Yeah. That was like the main point I was going to bring up was Darth Maul. He survived until I think it was Rebels.
It was Rebels.
All right. Quote 18. Got 3 more left.
Okay.
I stole it from Unkar Plutt. He stole it from the Irving boys, who stole it from Duquesne.
Is that in the sequel trilogy?
It is in the sequel trilogy.
I think so. Is it episode 9?
It is not episode 9.
8?
Nope.
Wait a minute. It is episode 7.
It is episode 7 when they're talking about, or when Rey and Finn are talking about how the Millennium Falcon got into their hands.
Ah. Okay.
All right, 2 more. Quote 19. I can be your backpack when you run, or while you run. So I can be your backpack while you run.
Is that also the sequel trilogy?
That is not a sequel trilogy.
I could be your backpack while you run. Who says it?
Yoda.
Oh, is it episode 3?
It's not episode 3.
Oh, episode 5.
No, not episode 5.
Wait a minute. Is this a parody?
It is a parody.
Oh, it's the Seagulls.
It is the Seagulls. I was debating on doing that, like using the Seagulls from Bad Lip Reading, or my stick from Bad Lip Reading.
Those are very good.
Those are very good.
Mm-hmm.
No. All right, last quote. And this one, you may guess one way, and it may end up the other way.
Okay.
Jake, for a firm handshake at the end of this. I have to admit that without the clones, it would have not been a victory.
Oh. Is this episode 2?
It is episode 2. Jake, you get that firm handshake. And now we have to pick a time to watch Spaceballs. Because you have to watch it before they release the movie.
Well, we got a few months. Actually, no, a couple years, right? Because it's supposed to come out in 27.
Unless... And the spoiling part of it. So, Spaceballs does have a scene in it where they're talking about... this movie hasn't been released yet, but thanks to new innovations, this movie can be released, or this movie has been released right now to home video, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the funniest thing that Mel Brooks could do, say that he's releasing it in 2027, and then end up releasing it on a streaming service this year. He's probably not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't think Hitler ice skating was in History of the World Part 2 when he said he was going to do that. Yep, but there you go. I called Jake out, and what's the verdict, Jake? Are you a true Star Wars fan?
Well, how many questions did I get out of the 20?
I honestly wasn't paying attention. I will say you did rapid guess some of them.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of went down the episode lists.
Yeah. I feel like I was able to get most of them.
You were. Some of the parodies kind of tripped you up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Because I think back to, like, the sequel trilogy and, like, how campy those movies were.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're they have the Marvel Cinematic Universe sense of humor in a way, which doesn't always work for Star Wars.
No.
And, like, I'm not saying Star Wars can't be funny. Star Wars has...
it can be hilarious.
It just has its own sense of humor, though,
Mm-hmm.
where it's, like, the humor comes from, like, how deliberate the lines are and how serious they're supposed to be taken, and the other people are just like, okay.
Yep. All right, so with that is our episode. Next week, Jake will be here with a brand new topic. But besides that, I'm Mr. Xavier Dean.
And I'm Jacob Green.
And we are wishing you a wonderful day, wonderful Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Again, some of you daddies. I don't know about the rest of you. And for those of you who are looking for the milk, make sure to pick it up and say hi to your kids. They might be out of college now, but, say hi to them. All right, with that, have a wonderful day, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.